Welcome back to This Day in Scottish History. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald. Today we delve into a pivotal moment in the Jacobite Rising of 1745, a victory that held great potential but ultimately marked a missed opportunity for Charles Edward Stuart and his cause. On January 17th, 1746, the Jacobite army secured a significant win against government forces at the Battle of Falkirk Muir, though the triumph would ultimately fail to turn the tide of history in their favour. The Jacobite Rising of 1745 was spearheaded by Charles Edward Stuart, better known as Bonnie Prince Charlie, who sought to reclaim the British throne for his father, James Francis Edward Stuart. After a string of initial successes, including the famed march southward to Derby in England, the Jacobites faced the harsh reality of dwindling support and rising government resistance. The retreat back into Scotland set the stage for the events at Falkirk. By January 1746, the Jacobite army regrouped in Scotland, numbering around 8,000 men, many of them Highland clansmen. Opposing them was a government force of about 7,000 soldiers led by Lieutenant General Henry Hawley, who was notorious for his harshness and overconfidence. Hawley underestimated the Jacobite army, a critical mistake that would cost him dearly. The battle unfolded on Falkirk Muir, a hillside just outside the town of Falkirk. Hawley's forces, poorly prepared for the wet and windy conditions, were caught off guard by the Jacobites' swift and fierce assault. The Highlanders charged downhill, their traditional fighting style, a combination of musket fire and broadsword attacks, breaking the government lines with devastating efficiency. The government troops were soon in disarray, retreating under heavy pressure. Despite the significant government losses, including the death of Sir Robert Munro, a prominent officer, the Jacobites failed to capitalise on their success. The blame for this lies largely with Bonnie Prince Charlie himself. By this stage in the campaign, he was reportedly becoming increasingly reckless and disengaged, with heavy drinking clouding his judgment. Rather than pressing the advantage to further weaken government forces, the Jacobite army stalled, missing an opportunity to consolidate their position. The victory at Falkirk Muir did little to alter the broader course of the Rising. Just 3 months later, the Jacobites would face a crushing defeat at the Battle of Culloden, marking the end of their cause and leading to brutal reprisals against the Highlands. Among the notable casualties on the government side was Sir Robert Munro of Foulis, the chief of Clan Munro. Monroe was a respected soldier and leader who had served with distinction in the British Army. At Falkirk, he led his regiment with characteristic bravery, fighting valiantly in the face of the Highland charge. According to accounts, Monroe was slain in the thick of the fighting, a loss mourned by both allies and adversaries. The Battle of Falkirk Muir was the last significant victory for the Jacobites in their doomed attempt to restore the Stuart monarchy. It showcased the ferocity and tactical skill of the Highland army, but also highlighted the flaws in their leadership and strategy. The failure to leverage the victory reflects the broader struggles of the Jacobite cause, a movement driven by passion and bravery, but ultimately hindered by poor coordination and leadership. As we reflect on this day in 1746, we see a story of triumph tinged with tragedy, an event that could have changed the course of history, but instead became a stepping stone to eventual defeat. The Battle of Falkirk Muir remains a poignant chapter in Scotland's tumultuous history, a testament to the courage and resilience of those who fought for their beliefs, regardless of the outcome. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of This Day in Scottish History. Until then, I'm Colin MacDonald, saying, haste ye back.